Hey guys, welcome back. This is By the Book, and we are your married relationship coaches. Today we are talking about Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 16. We are coming down to the wire for Decision Day, and we're going to just talk about where the couples are, where they've been, and what we think they're going to do going forward. So, who would we like to talk about right now?
We're going to start off with Mark the Shark and Lindsey.
Okay. So it was interesting to me, this episode, that they started off acting like, nothing was wrong.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of that is for show, so that it keeps us on the edge of our seats as far as like what we think they're going to do, because they've been so volatile up until this point. But they were acting like they had more good times than bad times, and we certainly didn't see them. And I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you think this is all for show, or do you think they're really giving it a second thought as far as saying yes at Decision Day?
That's really hard to call. It looked like it could be production. However, it does look like they were really trying to put the effort into seeing if they should stay together or not. And it's scary. It really is scary, especially if I'm Mark the Shark and my wife has belittled me. She has embarrassed me in public, no less. It's really nothing to really think about, but he's really going through the paces, and he's really trying to weigh it out to say, hey, we're up and down, and does when we're up, does it outweigh when we're down? And I'm just like, ugh.
See, I think he's sold. I think he knows he's going to say no. I think he's seen enough. Mm-hmm. He's experienced enough with her. You can even see, even though they're trying to play it up like things are going so well, you can still see her getting on his nerves. Sometimes he's like rolling his eyes about certain things that she says. Mm-hmm. Now, here I think it's worth mentioning, because I very seldom agree with Lindsey about anything, but toward the end of the show, you guys saw how he took her to, I don't know whose house this was exactly, if it was his grandma's house, his mom's house, the combination of all three, because he did mention that they all lived there together. But he had a different house that his mom was at. So I don't know what the living dynamics were in that house and when, but it's a sentimental place for him. And so he did kind of deck it out, I guess. He lit some candles and had some ambient lighting hanging or something like that, which was really sweet for Lindsey. I think, though, that romantic dinner fell flat, because he's talking about he wants to stay there with her if they were to, stay married, with all this old stuff. And rightfully so. I think Lindsey's like, look, we can renovate this place. She said give her a $500 budget. Absolutely unreasonable. She's not going to be able to do anything with that place for $500. Mm-hmm. But, she probably just kind of wanted to throw a low number out there for him so he wouldn't flip out about it. Mm-hmm. But she wants to change a lot of things in the place to make it their own. And that's perfectly fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if she's already moving into a place that's like his place.
Yeah.
That's where he has feelings, memories, experiences, not her.
Yeah.
So he's asking her to come into his place and then keep all your old stuff? That's not going to work.
Yeah. When it was happening, I asked my wife about what was the compromise. And she said, well, her moving in, agreeing to move in to his family's house or his grandmother's house, that is the compromise. And I didn't see it before, but she's absolutely correct. We both agree with Lindsey on that aspect. And hey, you don't put new wine into an old wine skins. It's going to just spoil the whole thing. So I think, I agree with Lindsey on that aspect.
Yeah. Well. And that alone, everything else, Lindsey is crazy. She has not fully been checked this whole season. I don't know how she skated under the radar with her horrible behavior. She's even BFFs with Elijah at this point, sitting down having conversations with him.
I don't know how you do that. How do you parent somebody and then become best friends with them? I don't get it. Nope.
How are you carrying someone?
She carried the man.
All right. Yeah, but I don't know. But what I do know is that her toxic behavior, just to use a global term to describe everything that she's done thus far, is, to me, it's gone unchecked. I haven't seen anybody, any of the experts, anybody really call her to the carpet and be like, you know what? You don't talk to your husband like that.
Yeah.
And that's shocking. That an expert wouldn't pull her aside and at least say that. You don't talk to him in certain ways. You don't talk about him in his earshot in certain ways. You don't talk about him to someone else, period, in certain ways. Like, these things are just not okay. How do you hold yourself in such high regard and talk about all the things that Mark doesn't do while you're here talking about this man like he's nothing?
Exactly. Total disrespect. Total disrespect.
Yeah.
And you're right. No one held her accountable. He never really addressed it with her either, because he was constantly on defense, trying to...
And she meant it that way. She wanted that to be the case.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's the one that always having to change and apologize, and she just gets off scot-free. Perfect Lindsey, I guess, supposedly,
So the question that we're here to answer, and we're here to ask you guys what you think is going to happen on decision day. Let's make some detailed predictions. I feel like Lindsey is going to, it depends, of course, when they ask who. Like, do they ask Lindsey first? Do they ask Mark first? If they ask Lindsey first, I actually believe she's going to say yes. And I believe Mark will say no. I think Lindsey, for as much as she complains, she is desperate. She strikes me as a desperate woman who desperately wants love and affection and approval and all of these things. That's why she's constantly threatening to walk away. I'm done. But she doesn't go anywhere. That's because she really just wants to draw him in. She doesn't want to let that relationship go. For better or worse, she does not want to let it go. Mark, however, has experienced enough to know, I don't think I want to live like this. I can't be arguing with somebody every day. And he said as much. So I think it's a yes for Lindsey, a no for Mark, and I think that's the right thing to happen. So no.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to go right with you on that one. I think Lindsey will say yes if they ask her first, and I think Mark is going to say no. However, where I disagree, they both should say no.
They should.
Absolutely not. No. Heck no.
I just think Lindsey's not. I just think the outcome, you can't have one say yes and one say no and they stay together. So the outcome is no. And I think that's the right outcome. Yeah,
I think they both should go there saying, you know what, I'm saying no. And when the first one says no, the other one says, oh, well, that makes me feel good because I was about to say no too.
Right.
And
that's only if they ask Mark first.
Yeah. But no, it's a big no for both of them. There was a bad match that the experts, or supposedly the experts, put them together. They did them a disservice.
Can we just talk real briefly before we let them go about that flag football game?
Go ahead. Shoot. Let me give it a disclaimer. My wife plays flag football, and she's a really good athlete. So go ahead.
That was the most embarrassing thing I have ever seen. Only to have him not even have pulled his hamstring, but to just call it Charlie horse. Come on, bruh. It's flag football. He was running so hard with his little stubby legs and caught a cramp. And no wonder Lindsey complains about their sex life. She needs to say no just because of that. Now I understand her. I didn't know why she complained before, but now I get it.
Yeah, okay. I have nothing to add on to that. You know what, Mark? You probably should have stretched before you played.
Stretch, get some water. Just don't play flag football ever again.
Yeah.
All right. Stick to playing chess or something. So, guys, but let us know what you think. If you think Mark and Lindsey are going to say yes, if you think they're going to say no, we would love to hear from you. And we're going to do one of these videos for every single couple. So we'll be back. Take care.
Bye.